with the team out of New York City. I'm John Fanta. He's Rob Doster. We've got the Fordham Rams here. We've got new head coach of the Rams, Mike Magpayo, and we've got DeJour Reeves, or as America wants to know, you go by Day Reeves is here on a great day in Pittsburgh. Fellas, thanks for joining us. We're thrilled to be here in Pittsburgh. We're starting with the Big Apple, New York City, which I love. And I'm going to start with you, the player, because this man, we were so happy when we saw that he was getting the Fordham Rams head coaching job. You come to Fordham. Why Fordham, and why play for him?
Why Fordham? Just like I said last year, it's pretty close to home. So I'm from Syracuse, New York. So it's like 3 hours, 30 minutes at the top. And just having that support system, like family and friends being there to come support me, because I was in Colorado for 3 years. It was kind of hard to have that support system when things get rough. So just being able to have that support system, being close to home is a plus. And then playing for Coach Mike, he had similar guards like my size, and they did real good things. So just seeing that is like, why not? Why go to a school that's got a 6'3" point guard and I'm not 6'3"? So that's why. And he's a winning coach. So he got a winning culture. He likes to win. And that's what I want to do.
Break down your game for us, Day. Give me a scouting report. What can Fordham Rams expect to see out of you this season?
They can expect me to score, defend, get my teammates involved, and just go out there each and every night to be a dog. Like, I'm not gonna back down from nobody, no matter how tall they are.
Can you tell he's from New York?
And I love it.
Just not gonna back down from nobody. Just so every night out, they're gonna see a dog and a great leader.
See, I don't back down from anybody when I'm on Arthur Avenue at an Italian restaurant, because I'm not going to let somebody take the meal here. You're not backing down in Rose Hill. But let's talk about Fordham, Coach, and we'll go back to you. This place, we've seen some flashes of it get going. Rose Hill is one of the most fascinating atmospheres, one of the most historic atmospheres in all of college basketball. And then you walk off campus, you got Arthur Avenue, you got the zoo, you got New York City. There's a vibe there. Yeah. How much have you fallen in love with all of that? How would you describe it to those who have never been to Fordham?
Yeah, I mean, Day asked me, he's like, why did I choose Fordham last night? We were having dinner, and I said, I worked in New York City, I coached in New York City, and it was I love New York City. I started every single one of my 3 interviews with, I love New York City. That's what I told the president. It's my favorite city in the world. I met my wife there in 2013. Now, the Bronx is a little different. You know what I mean? There's a different vibe and culture, and Arthur Avenue is a huge part of it. My first 3 months, I was going to Arthur Avenue 3 times a day, putting out a bunch of pounds. But you know what? Before my wife, she just moved here a month ago. I was already been out there for 5 months. I'm like, you know what, hon, you're gonna realize we're kind of famous there. I mean, I get stopped everywhere just as being the new head coach on campus, even on the subway if I'm wearing a Fordham Rams shirt. So there's an excitement. Rose Hill it's wild. I mean, it's hard to coach. It's hard to even hear each other in there. And I talk about it already, how it's got to be an advantage for us. So exciting times in the Bronx.
Your story of getting into coaching is a fascinating one to me, right? I don't know if you know this, Day. You were a CEO of a real estate company for a while, right? And this is a quote that I read. I found a feature on you, right, from like 2016. This is how it started. When the retractable 92-inch flat screen TV would descend from the ceiling in his house, one of the 6 houses that he owned, Mike Magpayo was thinking life is good. And then you decided to take a $40,000 a year job working at, was it Columbia where you started?
Yeah. Wow, you really got all the details. Yeah. I shared that with him last night at dinner, that I had a Range Rover with 22-inch rims and my 92-inch projector screen. That was my TV.
So why coaching? Why was this the way that you had to go?
It's funny. I was coaching just high school basketball as kind of a side gig hobby, and then Brad Stevens made back-to-back runs, and this whole story was that he started Eli Lilly Insurance, and that crazy idea started popping in my head, and I just started writing letters. And then, lucky enough, a crazy coach in New York City, Kyle Smith, he told me to meet him at a diner on 110th and Broadway, and he didn't show up. And I called him. I was like, Coach, I'm supposed to meet you, and he said, find me on campus. It'll be your first test. And I found him on campus, and one thing led to another. And yeah, you know what? The part of the story is he turned me down first. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just lost my one chance to get into Division I. And then that guy took a D3 head job. And when he called me, I didn't ask any questions. It's anybody from Kyle Smith coaching tree. You don't get to, it's like you're either in or out. And so when he told, that's why it was 40,000. I didn't even know, I just said yes. And
it didn't matter
here
what
we
it was.
are.
You just had to get
At that point, now I wanted to get in, and then I was lucky because I sold my half of the company to my best friend and business partner, who continued to kill it. And he'd always say, "At least you're fulfilled, Mike. At least you're fulfilled." But that's kind of that was all spent in trying to survive in New York City on that meager salary.
So we often talk with a first year coach about what we're going to see when his team gets on the floor. Mm-hmm. Let's have this guard tell us when you guys are in practice right now, what are the points of emphasis from coach and what is Fordham basketball going to look like this upcoming season?
What we're going to look like is just a bunch of dogs. Like, we're going to get aggressive on the defensive end. We're going to try to make you turn the ball over every possession if we can. We're going to try to speed you up the whole game, just doing things that y'all don't want to do. And that's the type of things we're going to bring to Rose Hill.
The other kid I wanted to ask you about is Christian Henry. What is? I see a smile on his face right away. What does he bring to the table? What makes him your guy?
He brings a lot of energy. He's real confident. He just do all the right things. As a younger guard. So he just a dog. Just a straight up dog. He's from Chicago.
Fordham is the Rams, right? Do we have to change who the mascot is?
Maybe we might have to.
But that's an interesting point that you bring up, because we talk with coaches all the time, and one of the things that they say is, okay, it's now a process, and you as a player could speak to this, for you to find who you're looking for in the midst of speed dating. So how did you go about it with your staff to find dogs?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The dogs part, I'm excited because he keeps saying that today, and that is, he's got it right. We're going to have to turn people over, and like Day has a high steal rate, but we just kind of live by the numbers. I went for high offensive ratings, efficient players. Like Day it was over 100 offensive rating. Iona and Northern Colorado, obviously averaged 17 points a game. The other thing is Day averaged 6 rebounds a game at 6 foot. Mm-hmm. And then Christian Henry, same thing, highly efficient player. So he's laughing because Christian Henry's got a personality. So you'll get to know him. But that's kind of what we look for. And then I try to get old right away. Just we have 6 grad transfers, 7 seniors. And so that's to give ourselves the best chance to see if we can build a winner year one and compete for a championship. We went for old and efficient.
I was told Day that you try to model your game after Allen Iverson. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me why AI?
He's just a killer. Like, he just go out there each and every night, just trying to go out there and kill whoever's in front of him. Don't matter. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, don't matter. He's just going out there to only see red. And he's a small guard too. And I kind of model my game after him. I feel like we got the same playing style. Like, we could get in the paint. We're not scared to go against the Giants. We can shoot the ball. We can score at all 3 levels, and also get the teammates involved.
So when you make someone fall, are we going to get that iconic stepping over a defender moment when they're on the ground?
Nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, that was against my Lakers, so we ended up winning the series. But
Coach, as we talk a little bit more about your team as a whole, we've certainly talked about the backcourt, but when looking at your front court, you got a couple of guys with different international experience and whatnot. But between Jack Whitbourne, Zariq Nutter, I know that there are others. What can you tell us about the bigs for the Rams and what you've got there? Yeah,
that's kind of the question mark is our front court. But Zariq Nutter, he brings a problem because he's more of like a point guard at the forward position. And I talked to my old competitor, Eric Olin, the Big West Player of the Year, and I wanted Tate Jones was a very similar player, and we'll utilize him like that. And then all of our international guys, we've that's kind of been our secret sauce, is getting size from Australia. So we got a big 6'11", Jack Whitbourne that I brought from UC Riverside, and a kid that redshirted last year, Abbas Bodija, another 6'10" Australian. So they can shoot. They're going to be skilled, and hopefully they pose problems and stretching the floor, bringing those defenders out. So, but that'll be the question mark. We got a strong perimeter and then a younger front court that's going to have to bang shots and figure out how to match the physicality of the A10.
So you have a number of players from overseas on your roster. And I know when you got the job, we had you on the field of 68. We talked about how you are the first Division I head coach of full Asian heritage, right? You have a player from Japan on your roster,
Yes.
Akira Jacobs. How cool is it as a guy that represents the Asian community, the Asian American community here, to be able to coach a player from another Asian American?
Oh, very cool. I went hard. And, him and Day Day came on the visit. They were our first commits. Day Day was our first commit, but I went hard at Akira. I knew him he was at the NBA Academy in Australia, but just being a Japanese and played in the Olympics 2 years ago, I think the first Japanese player ever to play at Fordham. And the first one I've coached, as even being president of the Asian Coaches Association. Trust me, I try to know and recruit every Asian player, and they're not saying yes, and finally got one to say yes. And another one, 6'10", can shoot it, lefty. So proud of him on the team. Great kid, great young man, and he really, to me, is kind of the ceiling of the team with Akira. If we can get him to grow and make a jump, average about 8 points a game in Hawaii, but see if he can make a jump this year. That'd be huge.
All right, 15 seconds of rapid fire to close. 3 artists on your pregame playlist.
NBA YoungBoy, G Herbo, Lil Durk.
Your favorite spot around Fordham, New York City? Spot or two.
Well, we'll go Enzo's. Pretty standard spot on Arthur Avenue.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Marcus Green.
If you could have anybody play you in a movie or show, who would it be?
Man, that's always a question. I don't have one because, Kyle's got Sean Penn and Golden's got like Ryan Reynolds. Coach Smith tries to give me like Manny Pacquiao or Joe Coy because there's not many Filipinos out there. Oh, I got it. I figured it out. The Crazy Rich Asians guy, the guy that was the actor in the Crazy Rich Asians.
Hold on. Kyle Smith tried to take Sean Penn.
Yeah.
You know what? If you put them side by side, they really look a lot alike. They really
We're
do.
going to do that.
We're gonna do that. There you go.
The Rams in the
Connor,
building.
make that graphic,
Guys,
Connor.
thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this year, Coach.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
John.
There it
Thank you for
is.
coming
Thank you,
on.
Rob.